On the night of Halloween, a joyful Bloodline Killer dresses up as Dracula for the little kids in his neighborhood. While distributing candy to little trick-or-treaters, he's also trying to humor his son, Connor, who's trying to focus on studying. Connor wonders where his dad went when he doesn't return from the porch for a long time, and he finds his father in the yard while a man in a skeleton mask strikes his head with an axe. Connor tries to fight back, only for the killer to swing his axe at him. His mother, Moira, charges out of the house and shoots the man, but he disappears within a few seconds. The man is popularly known as the Skeleton, and Moira tries to save her boys from his axe during the course of the film. The Skeleton is Moira's own cousin, Lee Harris. Lee was arrested when both of them were teenagers for murdering and decapitating Moira's father, along with several people from Deep Ridge. Lee's mask is described as a hollowed-out metallic aberration in the court records. Lee is a cold, silent man who's almost a stone-like being who only knows to kill. His lawyers filed for an insanity plea, and his lack of emotions and eye contact became the foundation of it. His lore earned him a lot of fans who still search for his original mask to this day. Not to mention that he inspired a Halloween costume. There is a movie franchise after him as well, but Moira gets the royalty checks from it, so something good came out of it for him. Decades after his arrest, Lee escapes from the high-security state institution and comes back to hunt Moira down. A local nurse who's been taking care of her mother for years before her death, Samantha, finds herself alone in a big house she inherited. She finds the Skeleton injured and looking for a place to hide, and she injects him to put him to sleep and takes him with her. Samantha is Lee's sister, and she has hope that her brother will recover from whatever evil's taken over him. She is somewhat of a psychopath too, as she thinks it's her responsibility to keep her brother safe from law enforcement. Samantha keeps him in her basement tied up and feeds him information about the Coles. To top it all off, she also spies on Moira almost every day. And Moira asks Detective Cyrus to run the plates of the car that she sees in her block every day. It's been a year since Dylan died, and Connor got the worst trauma out of it. Connor's health kept worsening after the incident, and he has been bedridden since then. He has grown resentful of Moira after he found out about the letter she sent to Lee when he was in captivity. Connor thinks her keeping contact with him led the Skeleton right into their house, and he holds her responsible for his father's death. Moira's other son, Michael, is more stable than his brother, and he moves out of the house to start a new life with his girlfriend Lisa. Lisa and Michael broke up after Dylan's death, but Michael convinced her to get back together. Detective Fink goes to Samantha's house when he finds out that she's Lee's sister, who legally got her name changed. When he can't get a response, he breaks in to discover Lee tied to a bed. Not knowing who the person is, he sets him free and turns away to call for backup. Lee creeps up behind him, and after a short fight, he snaps Fink's neck. Samantha comes home to find Fink's dead body, and she takes it out to dispose of the corpse. After getting out, Lee kills a supermarket owner and a random cop and his wife. Why am I saying these things so casually? Well, because that's how little these deaths make an impact on you. Fink's partner Detective Cyphers is heartbroken over his death, and Moira calls him to warn that Lee was responsible for Fink's death. Connor tells Michael how he's never heard their mother talk about her parents or childhood without sounding morbid and cryptic. He senses that there must have been something wrong that traumatized her for life. He's not wrong, as Moira and her therapist constantly try to practice mental exercises to help Moira get over her fear of Lee. From what I gathered, Moira hated her father so much that she asked Lee to kill him. Lee decapitated his uncle, and his lust for blood only increased after that. Lee still holds Moira responsible for his conviction. After Fink's body is found, Cypher's old colleague Detective Trustin James joins the investigators. James has been obsessed with Skeleton for years, and now he's here to wrap him up as soon as he can. Cyphers goes to Samantha's house, which by now is a rat trap for cops. He heads into the basement to find Fink's inhaler, but Samantha shoots him before he can do anything more. Samantha then explains to him how her mother gave her a responsibility to look after Lee, and she must do that. Samantha puts a pillow on Cypher's face and shoots him through it. She leaves the house after that, but Cypher survives. James comes to save him soon after. Meanwhile, Lee kills an old lady who's the neighbor of the Coles. Samantha comes back to find Lee standing near her home, and she tries to talk Lee out of killing anyone else. Lee stands still while she lectures him, and eventually kills her too. Michael takes Lisa, Moira, and his brother to a fundraiser at the ice skating rink where Lisa teaches. Moira and her sons have overcome their differences, and they finally reunite here to have a good time. After they come back home, Moira notices she didn't leave the garage lights on, but they're on now. Moira and Michael go to check the premises for any threat, and Connor finds himself in the storeroom with their dog. The door closes on him soon, and he discovers a lump of skin lying on the floor. Connor screams and shouts as panic and anxiety take over him again. He calls the cops for help before Skeleton kills everyone. Lisa finds the skeleton with a kid he abducted earlier, and when she turns her flashlight on, she sees the kid's face had been skinned. Lisa shouts for help, and Skeleton is now fighting with 4 of them. Despite trying their best, Skeleton's raw strength proves to be too much, even when all 4 of them push him through a window. Now everyone is unconscious and lying on broken shards of glass. But Skeleton gets up just like Undertaker would during one of his matches. He kills Lisa with a fatal blow to her chest and flees when the police siren comes closer. Cyphers and James spot the skeleton on the road. They chase him into the woods, and Cyphers puts 1 bullet right through him. It's not enough, as Lee still gets away. In the last shot of the movie, Moira and her sons are crying for help, and Lee plans to attack Cyphers. That's it. You'll never know what happened to anyone except if there's a sequel, which I doubt will be any better. To ensure you never miss any updates on new videos, kindly click the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.